Hey, what's up? Alright, happy Tuesday. So let me get straight into it. I had a viewer ask me to basically do the opposite of my last video where the narc doesn't have a job. And she wanted to know if I could cover, well, what about the narcissists that have money, right, and use the money to control you? So let's get straight into that. I got a limited amount of time, so I'm gonna try to get through as many stories as I can that are actually like from real life and relate to you guys on this one to give you some insight. So one of the ways I can tell you that they control you with money, story number one. When I had to move to North Carolina, with my dad while I was getting on my feet, and I had a small child with me. That's when my son was like 3. He's now 13, right? He knew that I was basically trapped there for an unknown amount of time because also North Carolina is not a place, at least the part that I was in Asheboro, right? Not Ashburn, Asheboro, different. But anyway, in Asheboro, a lot of people really didn't have, it wasn't a lot of job openings. People knew that, so they kept jobs so long. I don't care if they were a gas station clerk, they would retire from that job because they knew how hard it was to find a job there. So when I got there, there was this next door neighbor, right? That he was with a narcissistic woman, and she got him all the way out there. He really worked in Texas, okay, but she had him come to North Carolina, buy a house for her and him and and her kids, not even his kids, right? And he did it. She ransacked the house, fucked it all up, her and her kids. Then she picked up with another dude and left him with this house, right? So now he's like, damn, I work in Texas. Now I gotta like figure out a way to clean up and sell this house. So my dad offered to do that work for him, and he signed me on to do it with him, right? And I'm like, all right, I got you. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in fine art. I know how to work with metal. I know how to I know how to carve stone. I know how to do pottery. I can paint. I can draw, blah, 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 right? So I know my shit, right? So I'm like, okay, I got you. So we go over there to do this house, and I literally went over all of this man's stuff. Let's just give you one example. His carpets, I literally had a carpet cleaner, like a machine, right? That even though his carpets were fairly clean, I took 3 days in a row and just constantly went over just the carpets. When I had to scrub his shower, I actually took my shoes off, got in the shower, and scrubbed it from the inside out, right? Like this shit was sparkly as fuck. When I painted something, I painted it with the painter's tape, blah, blah. What did my dad do? He knew he had to pay me and that I was relying on that money. So what he did was go through there and be like, this is not the way you clean that. This is not the way you clean that. This is unacceptable. You used a rag and a paper towel and cleaning supplies to clean off the faucets. Everyone knows you use a white t-shirt like the military and you really scrub those faucets with it. Now I have to go back over it. I shouldn't have to pay you. Why? Because he had the money and he was mad at his wife at the time because they were battling it out, right? In the same house that I was also living in with my child, right? So instead, he took that out on me and felt like, well, I shouldn't have to pay you. Or he would dangle it like, I'll pay you, little peasant, because, like, I mean, I guess you did do some work, but really you don't deserve it. That's one way that they will do that, right? A narc in any arena can actually owe you the money because you need it. And they will rather pretend like you didn't do the job well so that they don't have to give it to you. Okay? Let's go with number two. My dad and my ex stepmom, because she's dead, right? But when she was alive and in that house, he wanted to go and cheat. She actually was a substitute teacher, and again in North Carolina, the teachers were basically like keeping their jobs consistently, so they didn't really like need her as much. But she used to have the money when they didn't live in North Carolina, when they lived in Maryland, right? But when they moved to North Carolina, it became hard as fuck for her to get the substitute teacher jobs. So he knew that. But he was making money like doing maintenance and fixing up things in different buildings and shit, right? And he knew he had more money than her. He treated her like straight dog shit. Not only did he openly cheat and be like, fuck you, I'm leaving to go cheat. What are you going to do? Move. Where are you going to get the money, right? He used that to control her. Not only did he move downstairs in the house while their bedroom was upstairs, he openly pranced around her like, yeah, I ain't sleeping with you, I ain't fucking you, bitch, whatever. But you need that money, don't you? So go ahead on, right? He treated her like dog shit, knowing that she, in her field, was stranded out there with him in North Carolina as well. And that in his field, he had a lot of prosperous, like, avenues to go make money. So he used that to treat his wife like trash, knowing she was trapped. If she needed something done to her car, he'd be like, yeah, well, I mean, basically, like, what you gonna do for me to afford that shit, though? You know what I'm saying? I can tell you another story. When I was with my ex-narc, I was the one working. Obviously, he was a dumbass broke bitch, right? He's still a dumb broke bitch. But at the time, I worked all the way up until being 8.5 months pregnant with our daughter, right? I couldn't keep working with animals and all that shit. And I had a really shitty manager. Like I was a manager, but the GM in that store anyway. Y'all don't need to know all that. She was a bitch, and she had a little Uncle Tom ass nigga that was a bitch that was like just hating. So anyway, I lost that job, right? And when I lost that job, he now knowing what I know, he was like, oh, because COVID was going on, right? COVID's still going on, but COVID was like new. Okay, so everybody was panicking. Nobody had a way to make money and shit. People were getting fired. People were dying. Blah blah blah. And so he found a way to get disaster relief, which I now know that he lied and did some shady shit because there's no reason they should have paid him any money for never working. But anyway, he was getting the money, right? And then the roles reversed, right? Where he had money, even though I took care of him this whole time. When he got the money and I didn't have a job, it was like, ugh. Oh, like, I don't feel like buying you this, or like, God, like, what do you need? Well, I mean, like, bring my card back and tell me exactly how much money you spent. And then he'd instantly, when I brought the card back, like, get on the phone and be like, okay, I just want to make sure you didn't go like a penny over, you know, because you're like a peasant now. You know, he enjoyed being that dog-faced ass dumb bitch that felt like he had the power. Even though he'd been smooching and mooching and living off of me forever, right? Like, frankly, he owed me all that money back. But no, that's not how he saw it. He saw it as like, yeah, well, like, I have the money now, so now I get to control you. Now if I want to go out and do some dumb shit, I should be able to, like, do that. Because, like, why not? I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, that's right. You don't have the money, do you? Aw. That's how they treat you. They treat you like a dog that should be glad to get scraps. And if you're not grateful for those scraps and like, right? Let's go into if you're a stay-at-home mom or if you're a stay-at-home wife with no kids. But the agreement with that narcissist was, okay, I will take care of home and you take care of bills and I will make sure shit's pristine and my ass cheeks are tight and you go ahead and you make that money and we just both are happy, right? Hell no. He's going to be just like that guy off TikTok that I saw where his wife was filming him. They were eating at like a shithole somewhere. It wasn't even a fancy restaurant. And she said, hey, babe, you want to split the bill? And he leans back and he's like, who pays for the mortgage? Yeah, that's right, bitch. Who pays for the car note that you're driving that car, right? You're talking on the phone? Who paid for the phone bill? Yeah, so why don't you just go ahead and pay for this? How dare you ask me for food money? Why don't you take care of he called it the cute little bills, right? That's fucked up. He degraded her and made her feel like a shit-faced, fucked up dog because she's like, our agreement was like that, right? So that's really fucked up. Those are just a few ways that the narc can catch you. So, by the way, if you grew up like I did, I was taught always, whether you're a housewife, single mom, whatever, a stay-at-home mom, always save some money so that you can pay for a place by yourself for at least 6 months, because if some shit go down, you are not asked out, because a man will throw shit in your fucking face when he pays for that shit. Let you get in an argument, he'll be like, fuck you, bitch, I paid for it. Anyway, I hope that covered it. True Tori, the one that asked me for this. All right, love you, bye.